Hey everyone, I'm Dr. Michael Breus, the sleep doctor. And today I want to talk with you about one of the top questions I get asked, which is, how can I drink caffeine when I need it and still get a good night's sleep? Don't worry, I've got the answer with some tips and a few tricks to teach you exactly what to do. Let's start off with, when should I start drinking caffeine? So most people don't know this, but in order for your body to exit a state of unconsciousness, you need two hormones. One is called adrenaline, the other is called cortisol. And they are, boom, wake you up. Here's what's interesting though. When these things are wandering around inside your brain, if you add caffeine to that, it really doesn't do a whole lot of good. If you looked at how powerful adrenaline and cortisol are versus caffeine, it'd be like comparing cocaine to weak tea. But most people, or quite a few people at least, tell me, hey, caffeine is the first thing that crosses my lips in the morning. Here's what my recommendation would be. You want to hydrate before you caffeinate. Here's the problem, is sleep in and of itself is a dehydrative event. In fact, you lose almost a full liter of water every night just from the humidity in your breath. So do me a favor, when you wake up, down about 15 to 20 ounces of water. That's gonna help you tremendously. And then wait 90 minutes before your first cup of caffeine. I promise you it will be a game changer for you. Now, another big part of this is, well, what's the total amount of caffeine that I should have throughout a given day? Well, when we start to look around in the literature, I would say no more than about 350 to 400 milligrams a day. So what does that mean? You're looking at somewhere between 2 and maybe 3 cups of coffee or 2 or 3 energy drinks, something along those lines. Now, some people are so sleepy that 400 milligrams of caffeine actually don't do the trick. So I've come up with a technique that I'd like you to try. It's called a nap-a-latte. So here's what you do, is you get a cup of drip black coffee, no cream, no sugar, throw in a couple ice cubes merely to cool it down. Slug it, then take a quick 25-minute nap. You'll be surprised because here's what's gonna happen. You're gonna burn through some adenosine, get a little stage 1 and stage 2 sleep, lower that sleep drive, caffeine is waiting in the wings, kicks in, and you're good to go for 4 hours. But you gotta understand, using the nap-a-latte is not something that you wanna do every day, but maybe using it for emergency situations. The other thing that you can do if you find you're really slowing down, at least in the later part of the day, maybe between 1 and 3 in the afternoon, instead of grabbing that Snickers or that caffeine, go outside and get a sunshine break, not a coffee break. Because here's what happens. Sunlight hits your eyeball, make sure that there's no melatonin going on, and helps wake you up. Now that you kind of know when to start and a couple of things to do during the day, when should you stop caffeine is the next big question. So hard stop, 2 p.m. Now, people want to know, well, why 2 p.m.? The way I like to look at it is based on something called the half-life of caffeine. So the half-life, which is how much time it takes your body to metabolize half of that caffeine, is somewhere between 6 and 8 hours for the average adult. Well, if you stop at 2, 8 hours later is roughly 10 o'clock, which is kind of sort of when a lot of people start thinking about going to bed. If I had my druthers though, I'd say start out by stopping at 2 p.m. And then after a little while, you want to move to 12 and then maybe even move to 10. Now, what I'm doing is I'm backing up the caffeine to earlier in the day. Then you're going to use a technique called caffeine fading to slow down the amount of caffeine that you have. So let's say you're at the 3 cups of coffee a day type of thing. So for your last cup, make it half decaf and half regular for 1 week. Then the next week, that whole last cup is all decaf. And then slowly work your way through until, if you can, become completely decaffeinated. Here's the thing that most people really don't realize is that, in fact, caffeine is the #1 problem when it comes to falling asleep, staying asleep, and getting great quality sleep. This is Dr. Michael Breus, the sleep doctor, wishing you sweet dreams.